When you go through a period where there is like significant price growth, what you've got to realize is that there are so many people out there in the community right now that have actually gained significant equity on all the properties that they already own. And about 97.5% of properties were actually not transacted during the course of the pandemic, which means that 97.5% of the people that you're probably going to meet are actually in a position that they've had a significant equity event. Off the back of that, they've been saving money. They haven't been spending on going overseas and doing those traditional holidays over that 2-year period. So now they've actually got sizable deposits and huge amounts of equity. But the reality of it is they're not necessarily going through your open for inspections. They're not even in a position that they're even hanging out on your website. But in fact, if you found them something to buy, they'd probably sell and actually go and do a transaction. So the skill of what a great real estate agent does is that literally when a market changes, they start thinking about how do I actually go back and find the people that have got capacity to go and do a transaction. And this is really about learning that I've got to get back on the phone and ring all the buyers that inquired on a property or went through a physical open for inspection, even on properties over the course of the last 12 to 24 months. And if I get back literally and I have some great conversations with those buyers, I'll actually find great sellers. Now, this is about learning how you've got to have great dialogue, some questions that literally could go and change the game. Hey, have you bought locally before? And what are your plans when you go to buy the next? Those two questions ultimately turn a buyer into a seller. And naturally, that whole conversation is, if I found you something great, what would you do next? And by the way, what's the problem you're looking to solve by potentially buying, moving, or selling? Ultimately, how urgent is that problem for you? What locations are you considering? And how much did you want to go and spend? Now, I've just rattled off like maybe 6 or 7 key questions in what it actually takes to turn buyers into real buyers in our market today and then to qualify them to be future sellers. That's what great agents do. They ultimately find latent demand. Don't just hope that the marketing is going to work. Go out there and build a business where you actually really know the people that have a genuine need to do a transaction and are not just reacting to the marketing that you're putting out in marketplace, but are in a position that they've got relationship with you because you know that they've actually had a significant equity event, because you know that they've actually got an itch that needs to be scratched because they need a bigger house or a different location, or maybe they just need the perception of actually getting change and progress on the inside of their life. That's what great agents do. They learn how to find latent demand. They don't rely on the marketing. They actually rely on the relationships that really matter.